This is a clip from Beyond Classified. You can access the entire episode now at rockfin.com/FKN+. Well, let's get a little bit further into this. This is where it gets confusing for people. Privacy coins, meme coins, and the different options that people have out there. And some of them are just, from what I hear, shit coins that are, completely worthless. What should people look at when they're trying to invest in this?
So fundamentally, if you are somebody that has a lot of money and you've done well financially, you've established yourself, and you're like, I got a bunch of extra money, what should I do with it? Then I think it's a great idea to invest in Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin. If you're on the come up, I do a lot of financial stuff and helping people with money and business and all that stuff, right? So if you're on the come up and you're still kind of struggling, but you're making more money than you were before, and you're like, yeah, I got some momentum going. This is, I'm finally starting to figure out this money thing where I'm not constantly broke and in debt. I think the best thing that someone could do in that position with their money is take their extra money and invest it back in themselves, learning new skills, trainings, coaching, courses, masterminds, whatever. Make yourself more effective at providing value to other people. And in turn, in the marketplace, when you add value, when you help people solve problems, you're able to make more money. Additionally, if you got a side hustle or a business that you've started, I would take the extra money and put it in the business. I would do this before I started investing in Bitcoin. That being said, there's nothing wrong, even if you're on the come up, with maybe you start investing $100, $200 a month or whatever, just so you start kind of dabbling there. So a lot of people think they can get rich with Bitcoin, or I got $2,000 extra dollars. I finally saved up. I'm going to put it all into Bitcoin, and that's going to make me so much money. We've kind of passed the time of the explosive growth. Now we're going to see slow and steady growth and decline, by the way. It's another reason why I say, like, if you got a bunch of money, then consider dabbling more. But if you're on the come up, the last thing you want to do is put this $2,500 that you've been saving for the past 3 or 6 months into Bitcoin when Bitcoin is $25,000, only to watch it drop down to $15,000 the next 2 days. You'll be heartbroken. You'll be you may want to sell it. You never want to sell it at a loss. It will most likely go back up. But anyway, there's, like, I'm looking at it right now, there's 12,928 different cryptocurrencies, and a significant portion of those are total garbage. So off the bat, if folks are beginning, I would just encourage you to go with the gold standard, literally what's shaping up to be a digital gold, which is Bitcoin. It's trading at $21,365. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. A lot of people never get started because they thought they had to buy a whole Bitcoin, which, by the way, I've been telling people to try to get a whole Bitcoin since Bitcoin is less than $1,000. And I've been telling people, get yourself a whole Bitcoin, get to the left of the decimal. It's going to get harder and harder to do so. Pretty soon you'll get left in the dust. And of course, a lot of people struggle with that now, but you can still buy a 10th of a Bitcoin, 100th of a Bitcoin, even a 1,000th of a Bitcoin. So I would encourage people just to start with Bitcoin, maybe dabble in some Ethereum as well. Ethereum was one of the early cryptocurrencies, not super early, but it helps people to write programs on a blockchain. So instead of hosting your app or your website on Amazon hosting services, centralized control, they shut down apps and stuff, right? Like they shut down Parler back in the day when all the Trump stuff was going on. You can host your program or your app on a decentralized blockchain. So now all of a sudden the program is hosted and secured by this network of computers that are operating this system here, which is pretty cool. So besides that, I would encourage people to check out privacy coins. So contrary to popular belief, and we all learned, I was at the Ross Ulbricht Silk Road trial. That was this dark net marketplace where people would buy and sell drugs using Bitcoin back in the day. Everybody early on thought that it was private and secret and secure, but it turns out the blockchain is completely transparent. So if I send a transaction to you, that can be seen on the blockchain, the record of that. Now, it doesn't say John Bush, sent it, but it'll have your address. And if your address is tied to your identity, then it can be known that you sent it and where it got sent beyond that, right? Now, there's ways to purchase crypto and to send Bitcoin that can obfuscate who the owner of it is if you play your cards right. But if you purchase crypto on Coinbase, for example, and they require you to scan your driver's license, then your identity will be tied to that address, and it'll be tied to where the crypto goes after that too. That's why we encourage the use of what are known as privacy coins. These privacy coins, like Monero being the most popular, valuable one, they obfuscate, they obscure the transaction recipient, the transaction sender, the amount of cryptocurrency sent, the amount of cryptocurrency in a given address. It's all cloaked in secrecy and cannot be known. That's why I say, when the man rolls out these central bank digital currencies that can track, trace, analyze, even shut you down, we're going to want to know how to use Monero or another coin if it comes. I'm a big fan of Pirate Chain too, but Monero is the number one. We're going to want to know how to use that so we can send it to one another outside of their scope and their purview.
Now,
So,
if that does happen, is there a way for them to shut down coins like Monero or just stop the production?
So the cool thing about these coins is they're decentralized, and the really good ones like Bitcoin, we don't know who started them. There's a lot of shadowy stuff about who started Monero, although there's some key figures within Monero. But once this software is released into the wild, and it's a decentralized ecosystem, so you have these nodes that verify the transactions and host the blockchain, and then you have wallets that allow you to send and receive crypto and set up addresses and private keys. The private key is what gives you access to the address that's on the wallet. There really is no way to shut it down. Now, a government can say it's illegal to use unregistered cryptocurrency, but that's the thing about we, the free people. They can go shove it, like it's gonna come to a point where we're gonna have to make a decision on whether or not we're gonna maintain some semblance of financial privacy by not complying with their edicts. So as this CBDC system rolls out, it's highly likely that they'll put more pressure and regulation on these cryptocurrencies, especially privacy coins, which recently they have started making a stink about. But that's the whole point of being a rebel and being part of the Rebel Alliance. We're not asking for permission. We're trying to secure the freedom for future generations. And sometimes in order to do that, you got to break the law, just to be blunt. But you can do it secretly, though. So you not only can you send the transaction secretly, but you can log on to the internet through the Onion router, Tor. Some people say that that's cracked and can be tracked and traced, but still, tons of us, if enough of us free people are still going to do this, it's going to be really hard to shut us all down. And there's ways to play your cards and to set up your accounts and to surf the internet with a VPN, for example, where it can't be tracked and traced so easily.